Here we go.
You're tuning in to Will Love Listen. Now listen.
Kym Whitley, it's an honor to speak with you. Thank you for joining me today.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate the ask.
Well, you've been a mainstay in the entertainment industry for over 30 years now, which is rare. And I wanted to jump right in and get to that because, I mean, you're in Hollywood, you live out in LA, and you see how, like, it's hard to stay in the business. It really is. And, in TV, you've been in everything from, I mean, there's so many I could list, but Young and Hungry to Sparks to The Bay. And film, you starred in everything from Next Friday to Deliver Us from Evil. And there's so many others. So I want to kick off asking you, what's your key to success, particularly long-term success in the entertainment industry?
Wow. I always think about that because I think I set out for that. I remember seeing people become overnight successes or really big, and then you didn't hear from them. And I was thinking, well, wow, they must be burnt out. Maybe they worked too hard. And so I knew that I wanted to do a slow grind, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that meant, but say I got the big part, it could have been the thing. I never got disappointed if I didn't get it because I was like, not my road. My road is going to be a slow grind. Just keep working, keep working, keep working. So I would say it is not being disappointed when you didn't get anything and always reinventing myself. I used to study commercials because I wanted to be on commercials. And all of a sudden I got all the commercials because I watched it and I was like, what are they looking for? And that's what I would do. And I would create roles and go to people. And even when I did Beauty Shop, I created my role so I can go on tour. I remember the Wayans brothers. I wanted it. I went to Leah Daniels and I said, please let me audition because I knew in my heart, even next Friday with Kim Harding, I said, please, I can do this. So I would go and ask people personally.
Oh,
Robbie Reed, casting director, was a good friend of mine. And I said, I don't have an agent, but pull me in my first sitcom, Sparks, she had brought me in for that. So I think that would be the key, creating and making a path for yourself.
that's impressive. So you really went out there and hustled and like you did some of the legwork yourself.
Yes, you have to.
Yeah, no, that's so interesting. And then clearly it paid off because I was going through like your IMDb and I'm like, wow, you've been in everything. Film, TV, you've done voiceovers, comedy. Your resume is impressive, which you already know. But what are you most proud of in your career?
Wow. That's most proud of. There was a show I did, and I played a hostage negotiator with Gina Torres. And that, I forgot what it was. It was not on long. That was my first kind of dramatic role for television. I was pretty proud of that because at the end of it, they said to me, of course, I was inviting everybody to my stand-up show. At the end, we wrapped. It was a week-long shooting, and I remember they said to me, "You're a stand-up? You do comedy?" Because I had to keep the comedy gene down in order to be dramatic. Curb Your Enthusiasm, of course. I had so much fun. And The Wayans Brother, where I played Misery, because another fun, something I wanted. It's hard because when you go after stuff, even like Next Friday and different roles, when you want it, you really want it, you're very proud of that. It's sometimes people can just give you stuff and okay. But when you really want something and you work at it, you feel good about it.
Yeah, you probably cherish it more.
Yeah. Probably everything I've done though.
Yeah, I know it's hard to list them, but those are like really prominent ones, so it makes sense. Being in the industry, you've worked with a lot of people as well. So I'm curious because I did post that I was going to be interviewing you, and I got some interesting questions. Who's your favorite or some of your favorite people that you've worked with? And on the flip side, is there anyone that you would never work with again?
Ooh, okay. I've worked with Marla Gibbs, of course, Wanda Sykes, anything with the Wayans. Gosh, there's so many. I did a J.J. Abrams project with Greg Grunberg, who I love. Wow, that's so hard. I have had fun on every set. Most of the time, I've really had a good time. There was one show. It was a sitcom, and they did a reboot. I'll never work with the African bird they put me in. There was a scene with the bird was this tall and the beak was this long. Oh my God, he attacked the trainer or she went crazy on the set. I'm in the scene with the bird. I would never work with the bird again. But Matt Damon, and we bought a zoo. I will love that man to the end of time. I had just adopted my son, but just like with pregnancy, I had gained some weight, eating everything he eats. But and
Yeah.
Matt didn't, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so big. And I'll never forget. He said, "You stop it." He said, "You just made a whole human." I was like, "What?" I laughed. Thank you, Matt. But he was so in tune with women and so kind. This for him to say, "You made a human being. Of course, you're going to gain weight. You're going to." He said, "Don't be hard on yourself." But he just kindness personified. I will never work with Sherri Shepherd again. How about that? But yeah, pretty much I like everyone.
That's good. That's good. So you've had a good experience.
Yeah, well, no, 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 no. It's perspective. When I see an actress or an actor being an a-hole or B, which they do, I never take it as a reflection of me or that they're keeping us here longer. I always look at it like they're having a really bad day. Something must have happened. There's life is life in their family, their children, or they have something personal going on with them. But I've come into some bad situations, and I always try to find the silver lining in the situation and just deal with it. And I guess I deal with people like it's a scene. Okay, this person's being a bee. I'm just going to be me, and I just try to bring light to the world.
That's good. So you give them grace, basically, even if they're an asshole.
Yeah, I give them grace.
You have like the energy where I feel like it would be impossible for anyone to not get along with you unless they didn't want to purposefully.
I'll take that. I receive that. Yes, they would have to really just not like me. I'm a people person. I love people. That's my favorite thing is to talk to people and see where they're from and what's their story because everyone has a story. I don't care how rich they are. I don't care how down in the dumps they are. Um, Everyone has a story. And I remember one time, I did a movie, got the name of that movie too. And they brought some wealthy, really wealthy man on, and he had never done a movie, but he was sponsoring the movie. And I remember they were like, he's very quiet, he's very stiff. Don't talk to him. Now, if you tell me that, that is the first thing I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
I went over in that makeup chair, talked to that man, and I told the man, write a book. I need to check on him. And I said, I'm gonna help you. And the people around, they were like, he never talks to anybody. He's not gonna write a book because he doesn't want to be interviewed. I said, I'll write it for him, or I'll interview him and somebody can write it. He'll talk to me. We've had a ball. And he did say that. He said, I would talk to you.
Oh,
So
see?
yeah,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. I find joy in that. Even with Farrah Fawcett, I worked with Farrah Fawcett on a movie, and they all, when you came on the set, don't look at Farrah, don't talk to Farrah Fawcett, don't ask for a picture or anything.
Oh, wow.
First thing I did. Farrah, I don't know why people do that.
Yeah.
Farrah was so funny. We became instant friends. Like she was like almost like a ghetto girl for real. She put that persona on, but I think, yeah, she
That's
told me about
so
some fights
interesting.
she had. So Farrah Fawcett was so that kind of thing. I love talking to people, especially when they tell me not to.
Yeah, right. That makes you want to, but that's cool. I always wondered if when people say that, if it's actually the talent that's complaining or if it's sort of like the handlers that don't want like.
Yeah, unless the only reason I can now that in my older years I can understand it is if it is a serious role and deep that you have to focus and you want to stay in that character, absolutely understand that. And they should explain it like that because I can respect that.
Yeah.
But if you just being a diva, no.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Moving on to your tour, I didn't realize that you knew Sherri Shepherd for 25 years, or over 25 years, rather.
I have known Sherri for so long. Yeah, we lived across the street from each other. We were struggling comics, and she was in an apartment building. I was in a lower building, and she had no furniture, and I had no food, so we were perfect together.
Yeah.
So we had a good time. You don't even realize it, you're struggling, but you don't even realize it was part of our youth. It's part of your story, you know?
Yeah.
So look at us now.
That's a long friendship. But you were both on the come up together. You like hustled, struggled together. So
Made it
I
not.
got a lot of questions about your friendship too. Some people want tea. They were like, what are some of your funnest memories? And then another one wanted to know if you ever had any beef during your time knowing each other.
We're having a beef now, always. No. Uh, the beef is easier because Sherri is like the sister I never had. She is like my sister because we argue about stuff, we have beef. She said one of my jokes on her show. I was like, Sherri, that's my joke. She
She
was like,
took
I
credit?
know. No, she just did my joke on the show in her chair. I was like, what is wrong with you? She said, I just started and I just couldn't help it. It just rolled out my mouth. She was like, I'll pay you. I said, no, that's one of my oldest jokes.
Okay.
So it's crazy. But I argued with her, but what am I gonna do? It's on forever now.
Yeah,
Um,
true.
but I'm not gonna end the friendship over that. I'm just gonna cuss her out at every opportunity. Um, that was a beef. That was about a month ago. What other kind of, oh, at her wedding, I was arguing about something. So it's always, we were on tour this weekend. We did Two Funny Mamas, but she wanted me to learn the boots on the ground dance. I didn't learn it. So it's always a fuss.
How did that tour come about?
Oh
The
my gosh.
Funny
Because
Mom.
well, we have a podcast called Two Funny Mamas.
Yeah, of course, the podcast.
Like the podcast. So since we're both stand-up comics, we're like, we should go on the road. So we do stand-up. First we come out and we banter together. Sherri doesn't know how to shut up. And then this weekend, I introduced her. She came out first. And then she does her set. Then she introduces me. I do my set. And then we go off, we change clothes. They bring out chairs. We come and we take questions and answer questions from the audience. Now that's fun because we love improv.
Yeah, that probably gets real fun. Also, it's unpredictable because you never know what they're gonna want to know.
Oh yeah, it's the craziest. We really have fun with it.
Do they ever put you on the spot and you're like, maybe we should take this element out?
Oh yeah, they'll put us on the spot in a minute, and we have fun with it. I'm like, sir, it is not that kind of show. That's what like we're not answering that. And then I say security. It's always fun.
That's fun. I'm looking forward to the tour. So, and you have a stop right in Jersey too. You're touring all over the country. You have like a lot of dates. You've been doing a lot of shows. So what could fans expect on the tour? I know you gave a little bit away. Could you tell us some more?
Well, usually Sherri wants to dance and show me out, because she thinks she won Dancing with the Stars, but she didn't. Um, but it's fun, especially the banter at the top. It's all improv. Um, and then the middle is our regular stand-up. And then at the end, so every show is different. We have Special K, who's our host, and he is hysterical. So that's it. We have tons of merchandise, all the stuff women need and want. Um, but just a fun show. What I like to say, it's not a blue show. We don't really go deep, deep into blue, dirty material or anything. So it's pretty cool. I would say that. And I think sometimes it's a destination. I feel like people went to the color purple and they all wore purple. We
Yeah.
trying to figure out our thing. We want y'all to wear, everybody going to Beyonce, they got the cowboy stuff on. I was like, we got to
Yeah,
get
exactly.
some. So it's been that kind of thing, fun.
I feel like because you guys have known each other for so long and you've been in Hollywood working so long that you guys inadvertently probably spill a lot of tea on this tour.
That's Sherri, because Sherri runs her mouth. So sometimes we'll say like this one we were on, and if somebody says something Shannon Sharp, I'll go like, uh-oh. The problem with that is she has a talk show. So
Yeah.
it's difficult for her to say something because the media will pick it up and run with it. I can say it all, but because we're on stage together, I try to be careful. So we tend to stay away from the topics that will get you in trouble.
Is that more her than you? Because I feel like you're very outspoken and unfiltered.
Oh yeah, that's definitely her. Because and I know Shannon Sharp, but I would say some stuff.
Yeah.
Because even in my stand-up, I talk about Diddy, P. Diddy, because I know Diddy and we used to go to his parties. So I
Ooh.
say stuff. Yeah, I did a music video with him, Pastor Cavassier.
Yes,
And
I love that. Yeah.
yeah, and Diddy was nice. I didn't know that other side of him. So I have no opinion on that because I didn't get to go inside the party. I was on the outside.
I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah. Well, I was gonna ask you right about that because you brought it up because like you do have a history with him and it's a good history. So, and then all this stuff that's come out. So, where do you stand when you know someone personally and they start to be engulfed in, something like this or drama in general, stuff that's very polarizing? How does that make you feel when you actually know the talent directly?
Wow, that's it's you're sad because even R. Kelly, I knew R. Kelly. What I will say, and Kanye, all of them, except for Puffy, their mother was involved before they went crazy. And I say that because R. Kelly was a different type of young man. He was really young. He was with that group MGM or MCM, whatever. And this is when I was just doing a play, but I was close with him, but his mother was around. And when his mother died, I was like, okay, he went to a dark place. Kanye, his mother, I knew very well. We did a show together, and I played his mother, and his mother passed, and there we go.
Yeah.
Mentally, he's gone somewhere. So you want to rescue them, you want to talk to them and help them. But like with R. Kelly, I was like, I can't do that. I got to step away from him because it's illegal. He went. I should have talked to him years ago. You see what I'm saying? When
Yeah, I
people
understand.
those kind of things, and Diddy, I the only it makes you hurt because you think about his children, you think
Yeah.
about the legacy that he built and all the hard work that there was no one that could be there to say, hey, no, no, can't do that because what we have seen, but I think it's different now. If we look, I think all this stuff has been happening
For a
for
long time.
centuries. Yes,
Yeah.
it has. If we think about 50 years ago, we think about Sammy Davis Jr., Cary Grant, all of them. I am positive there was all kind of parties going on.
Oh, I believe it too. Yeah.
Right. So now what happens is time goes by, we have social media, we have all technical, the world is changing. You
Yeah.
find out things quicker and you find out things deeper. And now, even after Me Too, women are speaking out. So I think even back then, a lot of women were quiet, but now women are talking. There was a period, a time, I think, maybe between the 90s and the 2000s
Yeah.
that hello, you got to things are changing because think about this. In the 90s, if somebody would have just been like, hey, both of you, hey, you can't live like this because this is what's going to happen later in life. But people still are living on, if I am I making sense in the past? Like, oh, people been doing this for years. No, it has changed. And now we fast forward and we don't even know what the future holds from now. So the best thing is have a moral compass. You have got to live right because what is done in the dark will come to light now, especially. I think you just have to live right. And
Yeah.
I do feel sad, but there's nothing I can do about it. And I feel sad for the victims.
Yeah, see, that has to be difficult. That's why I wanted to ask you about that because, everyone has their opinion in the general public, but when you personally know someone who gets involved in such a polarizing issue, it has to be mixed emotions because it's like, oh, what they're being accused of is horrible. I feel bad for the victims, but at the same time, they were good for me. You struggle with how you feel. So I was really curious about that.
You do struggle, but you do want to slap the out of them.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
do,
Like,
you
wake
do
up.
want,
Like,
what's wrong with you? So just crazy. Like, could you look because it's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Like, Now we were kicking it. We had fun. You laughing. Everything's right. That other person, I don't know that person.
Yeah. And you touched upon something that's very interesting. And I totally agree with you about the Kanye situation because I followed his career closely. I'm a fan of his music. I like R. Kelly's music as well,
Mhm.
still. But do you think they did snap once they had a traumatic experience in their life? Their point being their mother, but do you think there was something that happened with Diddy that sort of kind of just turned that?
See, and that's the thing. I know how much Kanye, it was just him and his mom, and I know R. Kelly, really mama's boys, they're mama. So I understand when the rug is pulled from under you and they don't have that support where they got lost. Diddy, I don't know what happened because I remember in DC, he used to be the promoter and throw all the parties.
Oh,
So he was the young cat that was throwing all these parties at Howard. We all were going, my brother. So I knew him before the Hollywood time.
yeah,
So, when people, there's so many rumors of this happened, that happened. My opinion, and this is only my opinion, people, this industry can give you a false sense of reality. It really can give people the God syndrome that you are bigger and better and nothing's going to happen to you because every day people are catering to you. People are giving you everything. If that becomes normal,
yeah.
that's where I think that's what happens. You you get lost. You're in a fantasy, basically.
It tends to cater to creating an invincibility complex.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Because people have to see that. They have to understand this was not just overnight. This has been, I would love to hear what, a psychiatrist or psychologist really have to say about that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just like people always think abuse does something. It's
They,
the
yeah,
same kind of thing. When a person gets abused over and over and over, they turn into somebody else. Well, this is the same thing. If somebody is getting something over and over and over and over again, that's going to manifest somewhere.
exactly. Yes. I'm so glad you said that too, because a lot of people don't often associate that.
Right? Right? Absolutely.
Interesting thing. And that sort of leads me to ask, how did you survive and remain humble all these years, working in show business?
Well, first of all, I want to say that this is a great interview. Your fans and you have great questions. We
Thank you.
usually don't get to talk like this, and for me to talk about subjects that are touchy, but to voice my opinion without feeling like people are, because they take snippets and then they make you sound like you said something else.
Of
But
course. Yeah.
I appreciate you asking these questions.
Thank you.
Um,
It means a lot.
I'm a child of God. So when you say humble, it comes from my family. See, we're talking about being raised. I was raised in Cleveland. Um, my parents, and I guess it is, we never thought about it. My father was one of the first Black architects in Ohio. We traveled the world. We lived in a, a pretty large house, and didn't even, so my parents were never, they never, this is what we say, raising our kids, never gave us too much. And I was like, I'm looking around like, the man who invented the Mr. Coffee, first coffee, but he lived behind us. You
No,
know, Randy Lerner lived two doors down, who learners. So we were in a very, nice neighborhood with wealthy people. And I'm like, so I want a car at 16. My parents are like, nope. I was like, what? They're like, the first car you get, you will buy. I
okay.
was like, oh, yeah, I worked in my dad's office. I had to go get all the people that worked there coffee when they wanted. I ran copies. My brothers worked there also. And even when I went to school, I wore jeans every day. And I didn't, my mother was a shopper, but I wasn't really a shopper. So we weren't raised like diamonds and my mother, like big sweet 16, very, they made sure we might have traveled the world, but we didn't, they never, and I think that's why I'm humble. because they never like they're like, you're regular. We are
Yeah.
people like everyone else. So that I think that's what I would say. And in the business, I would say I just think we're people. I don't think that because you look at celebrities that fall. You have all that money and you're still, so I try to really I drive a Ford Flex,
Oh,
I
you
try,
do.
it's my favorite car. They stopped making it, so I went and bought one. But humble, because I want my son, but he even, no, this is the craziest thing I ever said. My son, we're friends with Stevie Wonder and his wife, right? So
Oh
we
no.
went over there last night. We pull up to their house, and my son, he's 14. He says, every time I come here, I think their house is getting bigger and bigger. I said, what? He said, Mommy, I think our house can fit in this house. I said, listen, I said, we live in a very nice house. I said, we're very lucky. I said, Mr. Wonder, I said, he's been around for years. He's in the music industry. He works hard, but another humble family. I said, they're just like you. They don't, there's no pretense. They are, and they're wealthy, wealthy.
Yeah.
So I tried, and I told my son, I said, do you feel like you're different from them? He was like, nope. He said, the house is just bigger. So, he doesn't feel any type of way. So I think in this industry, when we put people on a like that
Pedestal, yeah.
pedestal, yeah, pedestal, I think we do it. I think we're the ones that put them on the pedestal. I honestly feel like 90% of celebrities want to just be regular. They just want to be treated like decent human beings. They don't want you grabbing them, taking pictures and all that. There's just a conversation or hello. Now, there are some that are nasty out there, but I'm telling you, a lot of people I meet are pretty nice. Just this is what they do for a living, and I just really feel that that's how we should be. Your
Yeah.
job, what you're doing is no more important than mine. I think that's how we have to live and how we have to show each other.
Yeah, to stay grounded in like that environment. That's really interesting. Yeah, and I think it all comes down to the way you broke it down is like so like beautiful because it all comes down to like staying in reality no matter what level of success or wealth you achieve.
Mhm. Yeah, get what you like. Like if you like a Ferrari, get you a Ferrari. I don't like Ferraris. I like that good old Ford. I like a Ford. And my friends are like, Kim, you gonna pull up to the events in that? I said, I sure am. Now I think I'm gonna probably go get me maybe a BMW or something because
Yeah.
I do use the Ford for everything. And that's just because I'm lazy and I don't like to shop. But they talk about me so bad. It's okay. It's
You
just
know,
fun.
that's smart. It really is smart because you're not pouring your money into material things. You're probably pocketing that and building wealth. So that's the smart way to go about it.
Yes, I'll buy properties. It's
Yeah.
not, I'm not trying to show off.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's good. That's smart. That's how you build like that's how you build like wealth and sustain everything. Because I've always been fascinated with, and you see it like people who become big, particularly in like sports, for example. There's a lot of people who they get so much wealth, so much success, and then they're bankrupt in like X amount of years. And it's like, how did you piss that all away?
But you know the truth because there's no one teaching them. And you have to think about this. Their parents didn't know. So it's like winning the lottery. And I remember that I was very good friends with Derek Thomas. He played with the Kansas City Chiefs. And I was just learning about wealth and how to save money. But another, football player, he was making a lot of money. And I was like, what are you doing your money? You should have buildings and you should have, homes and helping people and what are you doing? But people, and I looked at his friends and everybody, especially in a new contract, the first thing you buy is a car. I understand that. Buy one car, buy a car that you make you feel good. But the rest of it, invest.
Yeah.
So in case of a rainy day, in case you twist your ankle, and I tell athletes that any injury can come and it can all be over. And what is horrible is that you not only mess it up for yourself, you mess it up for your children, if you have any, your family, the family that has never seen wealth before. You go out, go crazy, or mess up something, and you didn't you pissed all your money away. So that's the thing. And I hold the agents responsible. I feel like if you're gonna, the sports agents, if you're gonna sign these young kids, the first thing you need to do is put them in a wealth building class.
Yeah.
First thing.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. That's crazy. It's really interesting. I love getting your perspective on this because like it's like inside perspective on all the shit that people read every day in the media.
Yeah, yeah.
You filmed Happy Gilmore too, which was actually filmed predominantly here in New Jersey. So, how was that experience? How is it working with Adam Sandler? And could you tell us about your role?
Love Adam Sandler. I love his company. I love everything about him. It was fun. We were right there in New Jersey. And I play, they always tell me you can't say this, you can't say, I don't know. But I become a friend of his and crazy because I'm also in there with Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
Now, Ben Stiller is one of the funniest people
Okay.
in the world. He's so crazy. And I did a movie with Ben years ago, Along Came Polly.
Oh,
So
yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
yeah, see Ben, he's so crazy. Um, but the movie is hysterical. They have so many stars, and everyone's going to want to watch it because Happy Gilmore was funny, but Happy Gilmore too is it's hysterical. And I love working with Adam because he lets you go too. A lot of comedians on the set, a lot of comedians in the movie. And if you want to try something, Adam will let you do it. And
Oh, I like that.
another very humble person.
Yeah, I've heard good things about him. Like I know people who like run into him like all the time on the street in the city, like not dressed up, just very casual and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's a regular dude.
That had to be a fun movie because I saw the lineup and I'm like, I couldn't believe how many like well-known names were in that.
Yes, yes, funny. Because you know what? You also have to remember when you're nice, like he is, like Adam, people gonna show up for you. You call somebody, they're gonna be like, "It's Adam." Okay, I'll do it.
That is true. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It comes back.
It does come back.
Do you have any other projects in the work?
Let's see. I'm about to film a movie called Last Shop on Walnut in Cleveland, Ohio. A friend of mine, Peter Lawson Jones, who's also in city council, he's a politician in Ohio. He is also an actor, but he wrote this movie, and we're going to shoot it in Cleveland. So I'm going to go do that soon. And let's see, I just did something, it's just hard when you're like, oh, I'm working, I'm not working, I'm working. But, I still, the Actor Age, that's on Netflix, that's just still rerunning. But, it's hard to stand up. Lots of stand up, so Sherri and I together, and then, I'm separate. So, I just want to encourage people to follow my social media across the board because I always post what I'm doing.
Okay. All right, perfect. Yeah, I follow you. You have a lot of followers too, which, obviously. But like you're very active on Insta. I love it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And I did I built that before the pandemic. It was like when Twitter came out and started building it and watching shows and talking to people was when I had nothing to do. But what I found out, you build your followers when you engage and you talk to people and you have something go. And Raising Whitley, my own show, that's what I'm very proud of that. That was my reality show when I got my son. Oprah was like, "Oh, you got to tell the story," and that's when I really built all my followers up. So
Oh, I love it. I love it. I can't wait for this show. I'm gonna be there. Hopefully I could say hi to you before or after the show.
absolutely, you just send a message backstage.
So everyone go out, buy tickets, see Kim, see Sherri. It's gonna be a fun show. Q&A. They're gonna be spilling tea. Of course, they're comedy. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll be there and it'll
Yep,
be a good time.
yep, the two funny mamas.
You
It's gonna
funny
be
mama.
fun.
And check out the podcast too.
Oh, please, either go to YouTube or wherever your podcasts are.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
all over. It's on Apple, everything.
it's everywhere. That was a deep interview. I gotta go take a nap.
Ah, I love it though. By the way, thanks for complimenting me because that's like the premise of this because like I'm always interviewing like different like everyone I interview a lot of comedians actually.
Oh,
Um And like, say, for example, who did I have on recently? Nikki Glazer. And we talked about everything from like
Ooh.
plastic surgery to like molestation and all
Um,
things. So like that's like kind of the premise is I like to like get, well-known people in the business on, but go deep, you know,
yes, more
because I feel
fun.
like all of you are always being asked the same surface level questions that you're probably asked in every single interview. So I kind of want people to know it's like that saying, life behind the gates, life behind the names.
I love
So,
that. That was good.
thank you.
Thank you.
This was a good time. I can't wait to meet you, and thanks for joining today.
All right. Thank you so much. Everybody come see the show.
Yes, definitely. Buy tickets.
That's right. Thank you so much. Great job.
I appreciate that. That means so much.